Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Plexton. Along with me is the Undertaker of Uber Ultras, Bethany McChesney. I forgot to say as always,
You
but
did?
but
Mm.
I don't care because you're not always here. Sometimes you're doing more important things.
Other things.
Sometimes
Yeah.
more important too. Other times not.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. Summer is busy, 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 but I'm good. I might never put a big race in July again, though.
See, I know we talked about this before. Big races in July and August, or even small races in July and August. It's such a crapshoot
Hmm.
because it's
It
cottage
is.
season and it's like so you tell me because I have theories. I have theories.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, obviously races that you can jump into and stuff, but a race like this ultra that's coming up where the training for it is kind of significant and important. Um, Yeah, then summer hits and July hits, and the kids are home from school. People are coming to visit, families in town. There's something going on every weekend. There's weddings, like it's so busy. Kids' sports are in full force. Yeah, it's so busy. So it's been really difficult. So I might never put a big race in July again.
I kind of try to avoid them like generally like
Yeah,
I unfortunately we've got Fort Wayne coming and it just happens to be we had have to do it because we want to qualify and we want something close, right? So it
yeah,
is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I hope
yeah,
next year it's not quite as difficult to schedule things.
yeah.
Or maybe you just jump in earlier and go on a longer trip, like go to North Carolina again or something like that. Because North Carolina was good. It was a good event. We
Hmm.
had a good camp trip there, and it was
You're talking about qualifying for DECA.
yeah, qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all right. We enjoyed that one.
Hmm.
Good campsite right at the NASCAR racetrack, which
Oh.
happened to have a well, okay. So when we booked that, I actually called, and I know they allow camping outside the track, and I'm like, okay, because it's cheap, and I'm there was no NASCAR race or anything that weekend there, so I thought, it'd be pretty open, and it was cheap. It was great, and we had a little electric site. And then it turned out there was this like street drag racing because there's a drag race track there too. And for us, it was cool because everything was shut down by like 10 p.m.
Hmm.
But man, there were some really cool cars right around our campsite and everything. It was great. I
Hmm.
loved it. It was awesome. I'll go back for that.
Hmm.
But yeah, so is it the prep for the race or just that you have to go and give up that weekend?
It's the prep. I don't mind going to a race in the summer. I don't, I'm not racing much this summer on purpose either, though, because there's a lot of other summer things that I want to do. And I do like summer being a little bit more of a downtime and it being about doing things with the kids and, summer things. And it kind of, especially from the track world, the outdoor track season ends at the beginning of July. So it is usually an off season anyways, and it does kind of feel like that's how it should be. And then, you start back September, the fall is kind of championships racing or, the next season. Um, but yeah, I think it's more just having to prioritize training around so many other things. And I mean, training has definitely been lacking because I also don't mind putting my family first. So, yeah, I think it's more the training. But I think also doing an indoor race in July feels a little bit odd too. Feel like I would rather travel to somewhere that you could see something, it's a nice time of year. So
I would think a Decafit Toronto next February would be great.
yes, exactly.
That'd be
But
good.
yeah, you want to be inside anyways.
Yeah, next February. And then yeah, like I'm with you, like August and January, and that's why I told Jesse a farm girl like don't plan events for these times because it's difficult and
Hmm.
all that. I think once kids are out of school until they go back, everybody's so sporadic, and you
Yeah.
might have a great turnout and you might get nobody. Like it just,
Yeah. It totally depends on the event, I think.
yes, that too. I mean, if it's major enough, it'll get through.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, all right. So what do you want to talk about? What do you want to start with? I sent you a list of some things.
Um, yeah, well, what's new?
Do you want to start with the DECA schedule?
I didn't look at it.
Okay, well then we can do it. We can learn things because it's important to people because people are trying to figure out what races they're going to do when they qualify, right? And it kind of works where you're some of them if you're trying to pair them up, you're just not going to be able to do it, right?
Hmm.
So let's just go. So on the 13th is the fit, 14th is the mile, 15th is the strong, and they all kind of follow a similar pattern. All right. So early in the morning, you're going to start with the kids age group 10 to 13 for going through there, and then the older groups for the females, 65, 69, 70. And then so that's what you'd be early in the morning. Then you're going to have around 8:20, well, 9 o'clock, your ruck for your females. All right. So if you're planning to do the ruck as a female and then your age group, you're probably not going to be able to pull that off because right after the ruck, so ruck starts at 9, and then like every 5 to 7 minutes they send an age group wave. So let's say you do your ruck as a female and you're even like sub 40 for a female ruck would be really fast. You could only get away with that if you're over 45 because every other wave will have already gone and you will not be able to rest.
Hmm.
So pretty much, yeah, if you're doing the ruck, don't count on doing your age group. Um, and you could pull off doing the ruck and the elite female, but like I said, goes at 9 for ruck for female, and then 2 hours later is the elite female. That's not if you're looking to perform, I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pretty much if you're a female doing a fit ruck, that's about all you're not gonna get in another solo. And then the males, you get the elite males going at 11:40, which is like 40 minutes after the females. So we should be able to watch both great. Well, that's good. Then the age group males, and then the male ruck at 1:37. So again, to combine an age group and the ruck, not likely. But then we go into the elite teams and the co-ed team. So 11:40 for the elite males, 2:20 for the elite male team. That's pretty quick turnover,
Yeah. Hour and a half.
especially for a fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got that, and then the female teams directly after, and then we go. They follow the age group male, co-ed, female, which
Hmm.
surprised me because I kind of thought they would do with the age groups, they would do like all the males, then all the co-eds, and all the females. That way they don't have to change weights back and forth. But that's not what they're doing. Anyway, so yeah, and then obviously it goes elites and then youngest to oldest age group. So that's the basis of it, and it kind of works that way all the way across. So I do know for me, I had considered at one point doing the strong ruck and the strong age group, and that's just not possible.
Yeah. So you kind of have to pick if you're going to do rec
You
or
have to pick.
the race.
And let's say for strong, if you're planning to do a strong relay, you're not doing the ruck
Hmm.
because it's literally, especially if you're an elite, because the elite male team is right after the ruck, and it is an hour and 20 minutes after the elite male solo. So it's different. So the schedule is like if you want to see the full schedule, it's on Zendesk. If you want to see how it affects you personally, it's on Zendesk, Spartan Zendesk. You can look it up, or Deca Zendesk, and you can get exactly where you come. But I do like that they have the schedule out, that you can plan your day, that you can kind of get ready, you can prepare, and hopefully they stay on time with it because it's well done.
Hmm.
You you okay with that, or would you made it different?
Well, like I haven't really looked at it. too closely. Like, I mean, I guess at some point you have to pick anyways. I
Yeah,
mean, you're adding in ruck and age group and elite and teams, and you kind of have to pick.
yeah. I think the way it's done, you're gonna see less people race so many times
Hmm.
because it's just gonna be hard. I think a lot of people will do the one a day,
Yeah,
and that's where I'm at, kind of one a day, maybe two on the Sunday. I don't know. We'd have to see how it goes.
yeah. Well, as long as they set it up enough that people can still fit in their team races, like I think that is what people like to double with, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, okay, so for example, let's say you're an age group male. If you're an age group female for the strong, you're gonna be easy to get in your team. But if you're an age group male for the strong, that's gonna be a little bit harder because let's say you're like my age, 45 to 49, strong, 1207, then 80 to 90 would be 230. So two and a bit hours to recover. So that's doable for
That's
strong.
plenty.
That's
Hmm.
doable for strong. So that's not too bad. I would say the only ones, yeah, I would say for the strong, you're okay. It's just the ruck. If you're looking to do the ruck and other things on the same day, it's going to be difficult.
Hmm.
Unless you're a female, then you could do the ruck easily and be ready for team.
Hmm.
So men's more difficult. But yeah, so schedule's out, Zendesk. I think
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Nothing's perfect, but it's not too bad.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, they still haven't officially, we talked about this, they still haven't officially announced 15 people, but we know many times it's 15. Why the hell will they not announce it?
I don't I don't know. It's like they're trying to pretend like, well, we said this all along. Why do we need to make an announcement?
At least we do know though it looks like there's only one wave for sure,
Hmm.
according to that schedule. So that we can delve for sure. Um, all right. With some of these other things I was looking at OCRWC and I
Yeah,
think
when is that happening?
the same day as High Rocks Toronto.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So obviously that could affect Canadian attendance or Southern Ontario attendance, but they seem to be struggling for registrations, at least like what I'm getting. They keep highlighting, oh, you can fly here and do this and do like really, I think they're struggling. And so I come up with a couple of reasons why or why I think, but what do you think
Is
is,
it still in Mammoth Lakes?
yeah,
That's a big reason why.
yeah. So just
Big
travel
reason.
so hard, so
But
hard
it's
and so
so
expensive.
remote. It's hard to get to. It's at altitude. It's so difficult to get to. And so you're talking such a big expensive trip. And I mean, also we are seeing the OCR world dwindling with numbers. With Spartan buying OCRWC, we also have people who won't race Spartan anymore. So a lot of the elites from the previous Spartan scene, who that would have been their series, are doing other things now. So if you switch to hybrid racing or trail running, and like OCRWC is such a difficult obstacle course race, for that to be your one and only would be really difficult
I never thought to do this, but I wonder if everybody got paid from last year.
from OCRWC.
Yeah. Because now with Spartan being involved and we know the issues there, I wonder if that's carried over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rylan, give us a call.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because I mean that's a couple of the other things I said. Yeah, I mean those are two things. I said Spartan involvement. I said the destination, obviously. Something that and this one actually gets me is the watered down obstacles. Like the obstacles are not as challenging as they used to be, and
was that just in Mammoth Lakes?
it's been a slow progress. Even the last couple of ones in Stratton were a lot of rings. Like things just weren't, you know, they weren't quite as complicated. You didn't see that really, really deadly low rig and all these other different rigs that required a little more thought process and stuff. And
Hmm.
I just thought, yeah, I think they are watered down a bit. Whether that stops people or not, I do think this one really stops some people. There's no thrill of the hunt in the age group qual anymore.
You mean it's just everybody qualifies?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
really takes away from the specialness of it, I think. Because I remember every year that I went to NORAM or OCRWC, I had to qualify. I had to try. It wasn't easy to do all the time, right? Like it wasn't like guaranteed I'm going to make it. It was, you had to like get a top five in a Spartan racing age group, or you had to do top three or podium some other places, or even sometimes it was like top five overall just to get an age group qual. It was difficult. But it was exciting and it made it worth being
Hmm.
that trip, that one big race you're going to go to every year and you're going to spend a bunch of money because you're like, this is super important.
Hmm.
And now it just seems like it's just another OC. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
another
Well, if
OCR.
there's no, it's hard to call it a world championship when anybody can just sign up.
Yeah. So to me, that actually makes a big deal. And I actually commented that on one of their things, and OCRWC even commented back. They're like, yeah, we missed that too. We'll hopefully get back to that. Like they know that that's a
Yeah.
problem. And then, I mean, of course, do you think not having the big names in the pro wave stops people like me, age groupers who would have gone on and spent the money, or journeymen who filled the other waves and helped pay for the thing? Do you think that stops them too?
Yeah, I think there's less excitement around the race
The
in
art
general.
department agrees.
Yeah. And it's a trickle down effect too. Like when people know so and so is going, so and so is going, like you go to a race and you want a good race. So if and I'm not saying you're racing the elites, but the trickle down effect is you want to be racing the best people in your age group too. So if you hear like everybody's going to OCR Worlds, there's a lot of excitement around it, then you kind of want to be a part of that too. But if we're not hearing anything about elites going, it really it does affect the attendance overall for sure.
It meant the world to me when I got to run in the pro wave. They totally meant the world to me because I had to earn it. It was big. It felt special, and it's gone.
Hmm.
And that I don't know if they can get that back.
Well, and I mean, not the way OCR is headed and Spartan. It's not heading in that direction. We would have to have a massive resurgence with another company that comes in as big as Spartan was.
Like a High Rocks OCR.
Like take High Rocks and yeah, their ability to put on like a spectacle of an event and their consistency. Yeah,
If like High Rocks bought out Savage,
yes.
there you go. That might make it.
Yeah. And then put some more races on the calendar
Yeah,
in other locations.
like other than Ohio and Quebec.
Yes.
Anyway, I hope they get it. I mean, OCRWC has been such a tradition and such a great thing. I hope that comes back. But I mean, I'm just as big a part of the problem. I'm not going, right? I'm choosing to go to High Rocks instead. And even if High Rocks wasn't going on, I wasn't going to go
Hmm.
because it's just it again, it doesn't feel special to me. It's too far. It's too expensive and it's just too much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And I hope they one day figure out how to get it back. I do because if it was in Stratton and there was no High Rocks, would you go?
Oh, that's a good question. I probably would.
I would too.
Yeah.
Give me less than a 10-hour drive
Yeah.
and no conflicting Toronto High Rocks. Any other High Rocks, fine. No conflicting
Yeah.
Toronto High Rocks.
Yeah.
And I would go. I'd go.
Hmm.
But, so maybe that's it. Maybe, like you say, it's
Location.
just location. Yeah. Okay. I want to talk some CrossFit stuff because you're a CrossFit gym person now. You're full CrossFitty. Surprised you even own any shirts anymore because you just have to throw them on the floor.
Nobody wears shirts. Yeah.
Nobody wears shirts. All right.
Yeah. I
This is
don't even
why
have
I'm
to go in a shirt. I can take it off later.
this is why I'm not allowed to go to the CrossFit gym because I own too many shirts. Okay. So we'll start with the what kind of the bad news. We got like 3 out of 4 qualifiers from Asia caught with steroids. So I think it was like 1, 3, 4.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah, or caught something like that.
Yeah. Men
Um,
or women?
Men,
Men.
So then they have to bump up like the guy from fifth place gets to go. And realistically, let's say he was in the North America East, he would have been like 130th.
Okay.
So do they need, and I mean, do you think they need to fix the system on how they qualify people for the games?
How they qualify people for the games, I don't think they need to fix the system, except they could probably, I think, get it in-person stuff a little bit more. A lot of the video stuff just seems so
Mhm.
controversial to me. But I think this is showing that they need out of competition testing,
Yeah.
maybe like when the open starts. But again, you got to test, I guess, the best athletes around. But now we're talking massive amounts of money too.
Mhm.
But for it to get that far, and now we're like 5 weeks out from the games, and now you're starting to pull down, and you think of what that affected in within the qualifying periods and the open and the quarters and all that.
So I think they need to fix it. I think they need to change the whole damn thing.
Hmm.
Like, so this guy's going to get in there. And I mean, granted, great for him, especially because he's a clean athlete, apparently in an area that there's not a lot of clean athletes. So good for him. Um, so he's going to get there and he's going to have his experience, which is nice. But then you got a guy like Colton Mertens who could actually be in there and win a couple of events, maybe end up top 10, isn't going because he's in a more populated area, like in an area that, better CrossFitters are. I don't understand. And I've talked to a few CrossFitters about it, and they don't seem to think this is possible. And I don't understand why, because they're all coming up with these crazy point systems and structures. Like when you do the semifinals, you just did the semifinals, everybody had the same workout, right? Everyone had the same, I think it was 5 workouts or
Hmm.
tests, whatever you want to call them. Why the hell can you not just have those standardized and rank people one through however many people are gone? I think it was 40 people at each one, right? And then just your top 40 go. No, it doesn't matter where you're competing. And they
Yeah.
say they say, well, they're not even because of like in the first one, everybody had that weird different running thing. Like some were up and down the hills and some were in the grocery store line and some were out on the parking lot, whatever. But I'm just like, you know, program the events so they can be
Yeah.
synchronized, so they all can be the same, standardized. Like it's not that hard. You're
Yeah.
not dealing with a massive 5,000 people going through this. It's like 40 people at each event. You can say, here's the floor plan. Make it. They do it all the time. They used to do it for the open. Everybody had a floor plan they had to follow. And would it be exactly perfect? No, but you'd probably be within a couple of seconds,
Hmm.
which should be close enough to get you the right top 40.
Hmm.
And I don't know why the hell they can't do that.
Yeah. Because so what you're saying though is because they have these regions, then we miss out on some really good athletes that are in highly populated regions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so like North America, I think it was West where Colton went, use him as the example. And he finished outside the top 10 because he's in that region, right? He has to go to that event. But over in Asia, they were given like 3 spots, and none of those guys would have even come in the top 40 in the event, or even qualified for the event where Colton was.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting the 40 fittest people.
Yeah.
So I would rather them say, okay, here it is. And if you get all 40 from one area, so be it,
Uh-huh.
right? It just,
It's
it,
kind of like being a marathoner in Kenya.
yeah. Is that the way that works for like the Olympics?
Well, I mean, only you can only send three athletes, but
Yes.
like the top 20 at their trials could all potentially win a gold medal. But you can only take three. But if they move to another country,
Yes.
then they.
Now, I don't, I think that's because you're representing countries. Whereas
But don't they don't represent regions at all at the games?
not
They just
really,
qualify
no.
that way?
They just qualify that way, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your flag and everything, but you're not really, it's not like, yeah, Roman doesn't have a flag. Poor Roman.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
for example, okay, let's just theoretically say, because we have Canadians that go to the North America East, North America West, and we have people from Mexico and Americans. But if Americans get all the spots, that's okay. There's no limit on how many from each country can go,
Uh-huh.
right? Or if Canadians got every spot, even though this place was the competition was in the States, they'd be fine with that. That's okay. So yeah, it's a little bit of a different, although I'd like your comparison. That's kind of interesting,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, I think it needs to be fixed. I think it's bad. It's wrong. And then the other CrossFit thing I had was they announced that, well, I guess two other things. They announced that the Chad was going to be one of the workouts. Do you know what Chad is?
I do. It's 1,000 box step ups in a weight vest.
Yes.
It's
Okay, good. I agree. I'm like,
why? It's like making them row a marathon at the beginning. One, it's super boring from a spectator standpoint.
yeah,
I also, these are some of the fittest athletes on the planet that are incredibly skilled at a lot of really cool things. It's like make them do something more exciting to watch. You're gonna make them step up on a box 1,000 times.
yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. It's a super boring workout.
Well, it's like, Dave Castro's like, I'm this amazing programmer, and here you go, step ups for 1,000.
Right. Like make something unique. I know they like to
Mhm.
do the workouts, some of their standard ones where people can compare and they can really showcase
Yep.
the games athletes, but I mean you have a lot of them and better ones to choose from than Chad.
Yeah. Like do Cindy, Mary, Murph, any of those other name ones. Like this is I
Fran, like
there's
mhm,
not many that are worse than this. And
I
I've
agree.
heard athletes say, "Well, you got to see the whole games as a whole big picture." And I'm like, I get it. It's a tough test. Mentally, physically, totally is a tough test. It doesn't mean it's worth putting in there. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like an obstacle course. I can design an obstacle course. Nobody's getting through. It doesn't mean it's good or anyone's going to want to watch it or
Hmm.
participate in it.
Hmm.
I don't know. If I was a games athlete and they're like, here you go, I'd be like, fucking lame.
I
Like,
know.
that's what you thought of. That's what you came up with. You had all year and that's what you got.
I know. And like you work so hard to perfect these really high skill movements
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you do 1,000, have to do 1,000 step ups
And the worst part is, we already know that CrossFit athletes can't do box step ups.
because they don't put their head up at the top.
I hear a lot of them say they're going to be box step overs just for that reason because and this is blew my mind because it's going to be too hard to judge. I'm like, what?
Well, but your judge
It's
also
a
has to
box
maintain,
step up.
yeah. But like the focus too with the judges to even
Count
count
to
to
1,000.
1,000,
Could you
I
imagine
wouldn't
that?
want to judge it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the clickers usually only go up to 100. I mean, that's going to be really dull. You have to
You gotta
assume
reset it. Yeah,
if they are doing it, they're going to probably do like at least like 100, right? And you move the box, 100, you move the box or something. They
yeah,
they say there's going to be a twist,
yeah.
but that could be just turning it to box step overs, or it could be something else. Man, I hope it's one hell of a cool twist because I
I
don't
do
think,
too. Like make them run, do a
yeah.
hundred box step overs, and then run 400 meters or something around a track.
Could you imagine how blown up they would
Oh
be?
man,
Because
yeah.
like I think people were saying to do Chad for these people for the elites would be like 45 minutes. And then if you were to put in 400-meter runs too,
Is that really how long it is? I was
I
kind
think
of
that's what they
wondering
said. That's
that.
what I heard. I mean, I've never tried it, but that's what I'm hearing.
If
I don't know. I don't know. It just blew my mind. It was like, yeah, we're gonna do Chad. And I'm like, and you're proud of this. This makes you happy? This
mhm.
Dave Castro's gonna turn on, look at that and go, I did a really good job. Everything you could have come up. I know there'll be
Yeah,
many events, but it doesn't mean you should have one suck.
I know. Yeah.
No. So the other part of CrossFit and the games, and this I thought was be interesting. So they're doing like Friday night lights. So Friday night, they've got like a football stadium with a track around it, 15,000 people in the stands. What event do you put in there? What do you do?
A mile.
You want to do, so someone else has said that, a straight mile run,
Yeah.
a mile
Yeah.
time trial. Is that purely because you want to see their real numbers?
Yes.
What about another 5K?
A real 5K around
Real
the track.
5K. Mm-hmm.
They can't do that.
Be boring.
Well, come on, but they ran it in 17 minutes. But then they'd have to be like, why are all our athletes so much slower this year in the 5K?
Yeah, yeah. I do agree with a mile because I mean I heard someone on one of the CrossFit podcasts, one of the guys saying, yeah, he did like a 5:10 the other day or whatever or something like that. And I'm like, that's really fast, especially for a 210 pound dude.
Yeah, that
Like,
is really fast.
that's really fast.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I would like to see it too, but I would like to see more than just that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I
Like
hope they do like a flat out mile and then like 3 minute rest and then something like down the field, like barbell things at each of the football lines or something.
that would be all right. I would like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'd be down with that. Because if you did a mile and then just add it, and even if you did them as separate events, I'd be okay like that. Like a mile and
Yeah.
then wait 20, 30 minutes and then do your other thing or an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
But that would be all right. I'd be down with that.
Hmm.
I would enjoy watching that. And I like your idea of using the lines, the 10-meter lines, like, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, whatever, even if it's just, dumbbells or what, who knows, but like
Yeah.
some kind of, I like triplets. I love the Murph program of running and triplets, cardio and triplets.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
thousands of box step-ups.
Ugh, I know.
Well,
Did you see the Canadian record was taken back for the 100 by 1 mile women's relay?
100 by 1 mile.
100, so it's a world record.
Okay.
Canada used to have it, and then I forget what country took it. So 100 people have to do 1 mile as a relay.
100 people have to do 1 mile. All right. All right.
Yeah. So
I,
Canada actually
I'm just
collected
trying
a
to think,
hundred.
well, you pick
Yeah.
100 people to
It
do
took
this.
it was like 8 hours and something is what it took. But
Okay, I think you're
they,
describing this wrong then, because I just understood it as 100 people running 1 mile. But you mean 100 people each doing 1 mile.
yes, as a relay, like I run a mile, I hand you the baton, you run a
Yes,
mile,
yes,
and then 98 people later.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So it was like 8 hours and something. But they had to, on average, they had to run faster than a 5:34 mile. So they had like very legitimate runners.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so how many people are on the team?
100. You have to have a
Well, is it
hundred
100? Is it
different
legit
people.
100 people?
Yeah, it's not, you don't get to do it again. It's 100 different people. Yeah, they assembled this weekend in Hamilton at McMaster University.
No, I didn't get to read that one. How many teams were there?
Teams, it was 100 different women.
Oh, so they just did one, just Canada did it. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
maybe they had like two or three different teams.
No, no. They just assembled 100 women. Yeah. But we recently had Sasha Golish on. She was a part of the 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were,
It was a
were you
lot of,
were
I
you
didn't
quick
hear
enough
about
to
it.
were you quick enough to have warranted a spot?
Like I could come close,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't want to be the person that we have to let a couple slow people in because we need extra people, and then I'd be like one of the few that might not run under a 5:30. Yeah, and there was like a lot of very big name runners there.
That's cool. That's interesting. I mean, I don't think it's going to be in the Olympics next in a little while, but
No, but
that's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
Guinness World Records are kind of unique anyways, right? A
Oh
lot of
yeah,
them. So I think just that feat of getting 100 women who are all sub 5:30 milers, that's pretty cool.
that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good spot for me to go looking for
A
DECA
relay
relay
partner.
partners. Which one of you is over 50 and you ran how fast? All right, you come
Yeah.
talk to me.
By the looks of them, most of them were like university students or like under 35.
Nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
cool. That is very cool. I like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, I hadn't had a chance to read the article you sent, but that's neat.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
how badly did they beat the record by?
Not a lot. Like it was a very serious record. I don't remember. It was close.
What if they turned it into the 100-mile relay beer mile?
Oh, wow, that would be way longer. Ew, that
That
would
would
be double the amount of time.
that would require a hell of a beer sponsor to get through because that's a lot of beer.
Yeah, isn't the Beer Mile World Championships coming up
I think so. I think
in
so.
Windsor? Yes,
Yeah,
it
and the
is.
Canadian dude is like the champ.
Corey,
Yeah.
Corey Bellemere.
Yes, that'd be something. Someone that might have been underage. Good call.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
They
Yeah.
could use their athletic
Athletic
brewing.
brewing. Well, by Beer Mile rules, you can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. By official beer mile rules.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the beer mile again next year.
You are?
Yeah, but I'll do non-alcoholic beer mile.
Oh,
I did the regular one, and I
it's
can't
awful.
chug fast enough for it to bother me. I actually chugged. It took me longer to chug the beer than it did to run the mile.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Mm,
the people who are really good at it, I mean, they're like 2 seconds and gone. I don't know how they do it.
yeah.
I'm
It's
gonna.
very impressive.
It is. It is. And, when we did the at High Rocks, we did the beer mile-ish. So Rye's wearing the shirt right now. Run 1/8 of a mile, 10th of a mile, and drink the beer. Drinking the beer at the beginning, it was freezing cold, and that makes it even worse.
Then you get some brain freeze.
But again, I think it took me longer to drink the beer than to run the 1/10.
Hmm
So because it was 1/10. But anyway, that's cool. Wasn't there another track thing we had talked about?
We've talked about a lot of track things, Sydney Wells and sprinters and
That was the one,
sorry,
Sydney
not
Wall.
Sydney Wells, Sydney McLaughlin.
Yeah, Sydney McLaughlin. What was she? What did she do? She just
The 400 hurdles set a world record.
yeah, and it was fast enough to meet the qualifying time or the Olympic standard for the regular 400, no
Yeah,
hurdles.
yeah.
That's nuts.
hmm
Like it must have barely. And how high is a hurdle?
Um, it's up to my hip bone.
Like
Uh,
3 feet?
I'm trying to think what it is. Yeah, 44 inches.
That's more than 3 feet.
Oh, how high is 44?
Well, 3 feet is 36.
I think it's higher than that.
Canadians do not learn the imperial system.
I don't know. It's high.
It is high. It is high. But so
Mhm.
the stride that they take to not lose any time is amazing. That's unreal.
2'9".
2'9". Oh, that is high.
3'6" for the men.
Okay. So yeah, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
just blows me away.
hmm
I couldn't believe that, she can make the Olympic standard while throwing in the hurdles.
Yeah.
It's like doing it in a doing the 400 meter in a weight vest and still making the
Yeah.
standard.
Well, she's so efficient over the hurdles. It's another stride.
Yeah, some of them don't even look like they jump.
No. Well,
They
you
just
shouldn't really jump. It's more like a float over the hurdle.
yeah, yeah.
hmm
I'm like a
Yeah.
2 foot takeoff and
Yeah. That's how I
stop
do
and plant and
it. Yeah.
box jump over it
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
step up 1,000 times.
Yeah. She has broken her own world record 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah.
I was just so impressed with that. It was crazy. Um, what else do we have? And other thing I wanted to put out, Brooke and Sydney Wells are going to do a doubles in Chicago. What do you think their time will be?
They're doing
Yes.
pro weights. What was Sydney's time solo 112?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They'll probably do like a 65 because I think Sydney's the better runner.
I think so.
She was a Division 1 track athlete.
I don't know that they'll do like the 65 when you first said it. I said, yeah, I was thinking that makes sense. And I think I'm going to take, so you can have 65 and below. I'm going to take 65 and up
Yeah, because of the
because,
running.
yeah. And I don't like, I mean, Sydney's pretty good at the zones. I don't know that together they're going to do them that much faster.
Hmm.
So I think 65 is a good line. I like that line. You take below, I'll
Mhm.
take above,
Okay.
and we will wager a athletic. Been really pushing the sponsorship today.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Um, so do you want to hear what stupidity I did this weekend?
Okay.
So Pure Impact had a PFT this weekend. I had said I was going to go. So got in the car, went there, got there, 11 o'clock. No, 12 o'clock? 12 o'clock. And Zach and Amber are there along with Nick and Tammy from Ramfit. And they say, "Hey, what are you doing here? This is tomorrow."
Oops.
They were nice enough because they were about to do it, so they let me run with them. But
Oh,
um, but I was like, yeah. The sad part is this is not the first time I've done something like this.
oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. A couple times I had like business meetings and stuff and showed up a day earlier. Or I think one time at Farm Girl we had a course we were supposed to do and we went in the AM and not the PM to teach it. Not great at reading the fine print.
Blame it on the dyslexia.
Exactly. That's what it
Mhm.
is. Anyway, and I set a PR by 3 seconds, which was
Oh,
still not great. I get to the wall, I pace everything really well, and I get to the wall balls and I just screw it up. I think it's because I don't practice them.
that sounds like a fair assessment.
I practice them a little. It's not like I never do them, but I don't do them enough to really get good at them like I would need to at the end of something like that. I didn't see it, but I do know Chelsea Grant went unbroken on hers,
Hmm.
which should scare some people.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And in my defense, the Pure Impact men's target is 7 inches too high
Oh, okay.
because where the 10-foot marker is, there's an electrical cable running right across the wall.
Uh,
So they had to go a bit above it. But
hmm.
next time, and I will do better and more focused, I promise. And, I've never gotten that little gold patch of, I'm always just missing it. But oh well. What'd you do on the weekend? Did you do a lot of training?
No, my brother's in town. Yeah. So I trained the bare minimum. Yeah, my brother and his kids. So
You want to be the
busy
best.
other ways.
If you want to be the best, you have to ignore and ostracize your family.
I
The way it is.
guess I don't want to be the best.
Are you ready for the altar? Are you good for it? Have we
Um,
decided on your fate? What you're gonna do?
like my
100%.
strategy or how well I'm gonna do.
What's your strategy? Yes. Serious
I'm
strategy.
not gonna, I don't know what my strategy is for sure yet, but yeah, probably not gonna say it.
Hot dogs every deca?
Hot dog every deca. Yeah, if you want to clean up my puke.
You saw when Dylan did that, right? The Deca Dog 5000?
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I don't have an iron stomach. And I'm a puker.
Well, that should make it easier because then it's just all gone.
I know, but I just puke so easily. Hmm.
No, that's just a beer
That's
mile.
the beer mile.
Yeah. I yes, I can't remember the last time I puked. I do not puke.
Really?
Yeah.
I puked 2 weeks ago on a threshold run.
Really?
Yeah,
I think you puked at the end of the Deca Strong at Worlds too.
in the butt. Yeah,
I know you headed to the bucket. I don't know if you actually threw up or not.
I think I dry heaved pretty good.
I
That
was
was probably
actually
the closest that I came to.
I was actually in the middle of cutting a Bethany McChesney promo for Matt. Matt had a video there and I was hyping you up and you were puking in a bucket in the background. The video never saw the light of day. I really wish it had. It was awesome.
Because I think I crawled over to it because I was like, oh no, it's coming.
Oh, well. I am anyway, all the stuff with the world's schedule and stuff, it's got me. I am still really looking forward to it. Although we have had some issues with Deca lately, to say the least. I'm still looking
Hmm.
forward. It was still going to be such a good time.
Oh yeah, it will have a good time.
And Fort
Yeah,
Wayne's going to be amazing. There's such a huge crop of Canadians going to Fort Wayne.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so close. We don't get races that close still.
Wow, it's so close for you. What is it for you guys? Like 6 hours?
4 and a
Four.
half.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
So it means only 6.5 for us. Wow, it's
Yeah.
just like a trip to Quebec.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit more, but I mean, looking at all of that other things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's awesome.
We
I'm
should
I'm
congratulate the Atkins Canadians family on the birth of their daughter,
not Grace.
Grace Esme.
Is it Esme? Is that how you say it? Esme?
Yeah,
No way.
Grace Atkins.
Oh my God. Twilight.
I
All right,
did.
this is a movie reference.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, well, apparently Renesmee is a name from the Twilight movie. And Esme? All right, Riley says the baby in Twilight is named Esme. Oh, okay, well, I don't know. There's some sort of Twilight crossover with the
Oh,
Atkins. Okay, so does that mean that Atkins is a vampire and Lindsay's a werewolf? Probably, yes. Yeah. Anyway, yes,
mhm.
congratulations. That's awesome. It's like
Yeah,
possibly the future ultimate OCR athlete if that
yeah. If
exists
OCR
someday.
is still a thing.
It's
Yeah.
still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still thought, if Rylan and Chris Karkowski got together, they might produce a decent OCR athlete too. That would be a pretty solid one. Maybe this is what we should do. We should just start an OCR matchmaking service.
No, you should not.
No, no. All right. All right. I won't.
No,
Even though it's a great idea.
no. Maybe an athlete dating app though.
An athlete. I think they have that.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
didn't Spartan 4.0, like that Facebook group, first start out as a bit of a dating thing for Spartans?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Oh, that's what it became.
well then. So she says they got a little carried away with Flex Friday.
Oh,
Oh, good times in the beginning of OCR.
I I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I must have missed that one. But
Hmm.
all right, well let's go to bed early today.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right, Beth, shut us down.
Yeah, thanks everyone so much for listening. And we will see some of you very soon in Fort Wayne, which we are super looking forward to. So take care, everyone.